All right, Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor and praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying to the elect. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone who rule well, the leaders of all Israelites in these end times, showing us the correct way to salvation. Shalom to you, Akwaf in order, you Israelite sisters that are in order. Shalom to you, and shalom to you brothers out there teaching on highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice. And shalom to you Israelites that look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite regardless of your appearance, because it ain't about color, it is about the chosen seed line. So shalom. Shalom means peace be unto you. All right, so this is just a quick one as of late, just to briefly touch on, this, the latest topic that's come up as of 2 days ago. You got King Charles, so-called King Charles in the UK, here in the UK. And, he's announced the implementation or the rollout of the digital ID. So he's, basically they're making moves toward pushing that here in the UK, and it's no surprise that it's starting, they're pushing it heavy in the UK because, there's a lot of moves being made in the UK right now. You know what I mean? At my job personally, they're rolling out some new biometric system to clock in where they want your facial, they want your face scanned in the system for facial recognition. And they claim it's not going to be, that info or that data is not going to be leaked to any third parties, but they're full of crap. You know how Esau lies. You can't trust a word he says, him or, his minions, his corporations, his system. You can't trust it. And they're also turning Oxford City into the first 15-minute city. Okay. And that's gonna be the training ground for the 15-minute cities they plan to implement worldwide. They're starting it in Oxford here in the UK, which is in my neck of the woods. And so they're moving full steam ahead with this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a clip, bust out a few precepts. I've got 3 clips in total for this lesson. All right, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. All right.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
This is it, people. They have initiated proceedings. We are about to enter the end game. Whatever you do, no matter how tough your life gets, no matter how restricted they make your way of life, do not surrender your freedom. The moment you get into this digital prison, you will not be able to escape. Your money will be controlled. Privacy will be non-existent. You won't be able to spend money. You won't be able to buy, sell, drive anywhere, leave the country without them knowing about it. Your whole life will be officially under a microscope. They are taking the whole concept of slavery to a whole new level. They don't want people to be able to escape the matrix anymore. They don't want people to be able to save money, to become wealthy. They want people locked up. They want people restricted. They want people depressed. They want people that will do as they're told because they depend on the government. If you don't do what they tell you to do, you're out. You're out of the system. And once they lock you out, they can freeze your money. They can freeze your passport. They can freeze entry to anything out there, restaurants, shops, you name it. That will be the next step. If you still think this is a conspiracy theory, I honestly don't give a shit. By all means, surrender your freedom. Don't come crying to us in 5 or 10 years' time. This message is for the people that are actually awake, actually have a brain, and actually want to use it. This is it. This will be, I can't express how important this is, a time for human and mankind itself. This is a huge turning point in our history. We are in the Libra scale, and at the moment it's a level playing field. The moment you surrender to digital ID, I don't think we'll ever be able to escape it. You've been warned.
You won't be able to escape it. It's a digital prison, okay? And you'll only be trapped in that digital prison for a very short time until them nukes start flying, because America is prophesied to be destroyed by nuclear fire, and that will happen during the time that people are getting chipped up, okay? We measure the time diligently according to prophecy, man, us of the hopeful elect, and we know the timeline. We know that this digital ID is the prelude. It's part of the system that they need to set up in order for the MOTB, mark of the beast, to work, okay? And this was foretold 2,000 years ago, man, all right, in the Holy Bible that a lot of people in the world love to hate, okay? It's the only book in the world that contains prophecy, okay? It's a book that basically tells you the future, important things you need to know about future events, okay? Which is talking about the time we're living in now, okay? It was written for our time, and how to prepare yourself for it, okay? And what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. And one of the major things that we always stress here at Great Millstone is that you cannot take the mark of the beast, which is the digital, Salakia, which is the RFID microchip, okay? Now, there are a lot of people that teach different doctrines that call themselves Hebrew Israelites that claim to be prophets that are teaching something that just doesn't make any sense at all, saying that the mark of the beast is sin and that you can't buy or sell unless you've sinned, or you can't buy or sell unless you've slept with a white woman. You know, we've heard it all, man. And a lot of simple people will believe that. You know, scriptures speak about how the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going, you know, roughly paraphrasing, man. Okay, so you have to really analyze what you're being taught and who you're being taught by. All right. So what I want to do real quick, right, and I've brought this out many times before, we're going to start with this famous precept right here. Revelations 13, starting at verse 16. It says, and this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the prophecy that John the Revelator had on the Isle of Patmos when he was imprisoned around 95 AD, roughly, right? So this was roughly 2,000 years ago that this was foretold, because it's such a major event. It's these elites that are destroying the earth, the wicked of the earth, their main goal, okay, of their main agenda of their new world order is to enslave the whole of humanity with their microchip, okay? And they have it laced with something called biobond that sticks to your flesh so that you can't remove it, okay? Not by yourself anyway. You have to get it surgically removed, okay? Because this biobond gel capsule, it bonds with your flesh so that it doesn't move about in your body, okay? You might get it put in your hand, your right hand, like this scripture is going to say, and then it move up. It starts traveling up your forearm, man, you know? So they got this biobond thing, you know, in there to keep it in place. And, you know, this is all part of their entrapment, man, to entrap the world and to enslave the world and keep the world in a perpetual state of enslavement. All right, so without further ado, let me read this. And this was written by John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos, and it says, Revelations 13 and 16, and he causeth all, he being Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, he's going to cause all, it says, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So everyone, meaning everybody on earth, is going to have this, man. It says free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, if you go into the Greek word mark in this precept, it's different from the word mark in other precepts in the Bible. This word mark specifically is speaking of a physical mark called charagma. Okay, that's the Greek word charagma. All right. And what that means is that, you know, it's a physical mark. It's a incision, okay, and a scratching, an etching of the skin, a stamp, you know, it's basically going into a physical mark, okay? And if you break it down even deeper, it goes into Karax. All right, Salakia for that. I had a goofy ass Edomite and a little whoopty next to me interrupting. You know, the devil always like to come and mess things up. But right, so this is Revelations 13 starting at 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, meaning everyone, to receive a mark, charagma, physical mark, in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, now this is going into a physical mark, being the microchip, the RFID microchip, which they're going to use to track everyone. It's going to be a tracking device. It's going to have all your information on it. So no more wallets. You ain't going to have to carry a wallet anymore. It's going to be able to unlock your phone, unlock your car. It's going to have all these amazing technological things, right? It's going to be the new revolution. Everyone's going to go crazy over it. All the fools of the earth are going to go crazy over it, man. But it's the biggest deception ever, okay? And they're going to pull it off to a certain degree until the Lord, until the Lord rains the fire on them while they're eating, right? Chipping everyone up.
So I'm getting a chip implanted into my brain. There's a study happening in LA and I'm going over there to get this chip implanted in my brain so that I can pay my rent. They're gonna compensate me heavily for my participation and all the data that they retrieve. So you're basically talking to a future robot. I'm so excited.
Causeth, meaning he's gonna make it, because a lot of people know what the digital ID and the RFID microchip is. A lot of people are privy to it and they say they ain't gonna take it, but they've already got pieces in place for that, because there was a great rollback, a great pushback, should I say, whenever Keir Starmer was speaking about the digital ID roughly a year ago, and it had the internet in an uproar, and there was all these petitions signed, and then they said, all right, we're not going to do it anymore. They rolled back, they fell back a little bit, right? But that weren't a victory. It just wasn't the appointed time, but now we're getting closer to that appointed time, because they're not going to go back on that just because a few people signed a petition. They don't care what you want, okay? It's about what they want, and they're going to go full steam ahead with their agenda, and they're not going to let anything get in their way, okay? Because Esau knows that he has a short time to rule, pursuant to Revelations chapter 12 and verse 12. So, verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So no one's going to be able to make a transaction without without you being on their database, basically, man. Without you receiving their chip and being juiced in to their system, man. Bowing down to their system. Okay, that's you worshiping the beast and his image, So no one's going to be able to participate in society unless they've received that mark of the beast, okay? And that's what's coming. It's full control, total control they want of the population, man. As if they ain't got enough control already. But these devils, it's never enough for them, okay? Scriptures speak about how he can not be satisfied, neither keepeth at home in everyone's land, stealing resources. He is as death, meaning he's anti-life. He just brings death and destruction and misery everywhere he goes. This man, the Bible's all about Esau, okay? And this is the most biggest deception he's seeking to pull off. All right? And this is why it's such a big deal to get this prophecy right and not be led astray by, false leaders, okay? Because there's many amongst us, as the Bible said, many false prophets will arise in these end times, man. And that's what we're seeing happening, and they're leading a lot of people astray concerning this very important prophecy, man. So it's very important that you get this right. Verse 18, it says, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So Esau puts his number everywhere. It's in the CERN logo, Google logo, you know, in the barcodes that, you know, of everyday purchases that we purchase. You know, there's just many ways that this man, you know, lets you know that that's the number of him. It's the number of Esau in his system, man. All right. 600, 6 equals 666. Okay. That's his number. Right. Now, I want to show you another quick clip.
Are you prepared for the mark of the beast? I'm just saying, are you prepared? Are you preparing yourself? Because there's going to be a lot of people. These end times are here. And when that time comes to take the mark of the beast, there are going to be a lot of people that it just smacks them in the face. Because so many people are living and attached to material worldly things. So many people would not know what to do in nature. Some people would not know what to do with less. Literally, if they lost everything today, they would not know what to do. Listen, if you're one of those people that love material things, that love worldly things, how do you think you're going to respond to the mark of the beast? I feel like we romanticize, we fantasize the Bible a lot. But when that time comes for the mark of the beast, do you know that you're going to have to suffer if you don't take that mark? You're going to be without food. You're going to experience a time of famine. You're going to experience being literally stranded with nothing, lose all your belongings if you don't take the mark of the.
That's why it says that he causeth all. Okay, it's very important you understand what that is saying. It means that they're going to make it very hard for people to resist because they already know that there's going to be mass resistance. This is what I was trying to explain earlier and I didn't quite bring it out properly. But yeah, you know, they're going to cause all because they already are prepared for, you know, mass resistance because a lot of people are privy to what it is. Okay, let me run that back slightly. There we go.
Listen, if you're one of those people that love material things, that love worldly things, how do you think you're going to respond to the mark of the beast? I feel like we romanticize, we fantasize the Bible a lot. But when that time comes for the mark of the beast, do you know that you're going to have to suffer if you don't take that mark? You're going to be without food. You're going to experience a time of famine. You're going to experience being literally stranded with nothing, lose all your belongings if you don't take the mark of the beast. I don't think people realize to the extent of what they're going to have to go through. So we need to start mentally preparing ourselves now. Learn how to let go of material things. Learn how to stop attaching yourself, literally detach yourself from all your possessions so that it won't hit you in the face when it happens. Because I'm telling you, for the people that are used to luxury, you're in for a rude awakening. Start preparing yourself now. Learn how to live without. Learn how to live with less. Minimalism, simplicity of life. You have to prepare yourself. Learn how to be okay with going a day without food. Start fasting more. Put that into your regular routine where you start fasting more and more and you start dying to the flesh and you realize we don't need food every day like we think we do. It's okay to miss a meal. It's not the end of the world. What you don't need to be missing is that daily bread. That's what you don't need to be missing. We are too content and comfortable with missing out on this bread for bread that we eat. No, this is the bread. This is the bread we need to be focused on. Listen, I'm telling you, for the people that's used to living in luxury, it's going to slap you like a ton of bricks. Start learning to live without. Start learning to live in simplicity, being thankful for the little things. Stop attaching yourself to worldly and material things. I'm telling you, start preparing yourself now before it's too late.
Yeah, man, you got to understand the time you're living in. And the ones that are going to make it through this time is the ones that are leaning upon prophecy, man. The ones that aren't heavily invested in this world. The ones that understand what's coming and are preparing their hearts for this time, man. Okay? The scriptures speak about if you've come to serve the Lord, then prepare your soul for temptation, you know? And what's coming upon the earth is the hour of temptation, okay? But the elect are going to be spared from that hour of temptation. Okay, but it's gonna come to try all people that live on earth. Okay, so this is a worldwide thing. Okay, the Bible calls it the hour of temptation, man. You've got to prepare yourself for this time. It's very of the utmost importance that you drop everything that you're doing and focus on what's really important, which is prophecy, okay? Because we're in that time of prophecy, all right? So let me just quickly pull out the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, right? Habakkuk 2 and 3. Yeah, 3. So I'm going to start at 1. Habakkuk 2, starting at 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So that's what we're set up to do, is be watchmen. That's why we make these videos, is for the wise to cleave to and to get educated on what's going to save their life, because we're giving you the words of life. We're giving you that living water. We're giving you the warning that you need to prepare yourself for the danger, the impending danger that's coming. Okay, that's why it says we stood upon our tower, right? So verse 2, it says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Okay, so what we're supposed to do, you know, ultimately what this is saying is that we're, you know, us in these end times teaching this gospel, we're supposed to, you know, basically, the vision is the prophecy. So we're supposed to magnify that vision and make it plain for people to understand. And we do it not by writing, okay, but we do it by, you know, in the form of these digital epistles, these lessons that we do, man. Okay, it says, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So, you know, somebody that hears this and it, you know, it actually, they're part of the elect and they receive it and they take action, they're going to go out there and spread the new knowledge, man. They're going to run around and, you know, basically, you know, warn others what they've heard. Okay, exactly what I'm doing, because I was once told about certain prophecies in the Bible and the truth of the Bible, and now I'm here running because I read it. Okay, it says in verse 3, and this is the point, it says, for the vision, right, with the vision is the prophecies, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? So these prophecies are for a specific time period. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And now we can tell that we're at the end, because all these prophecies are coming back to back to back, man. Okay, the vision, the prophecies are for the appointed time, but at the end, right, it's gonna speak loud and clear. This is how we know we're at the end, because it's all happening, man. It says, at the end it shall speak and not lie. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So this thing will come to pass, even if it does seem like it's tarrying, which means taking its time or delaying, right? Be patient. These things are going to come, and you're seeing it. You know, you're seeing people speak about it. You're seeing so-called King Charles, the caveman Charles, talking about it. I want to turn to the book of Sirach, okay, real quickly. It's the book of Sirach. What is it? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 12. It says, for man knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. And, you know, now is the evil time, okay? And it's going to hit everyone like a ton of bricks when they roll out this digital ID, and when they're microchipping everyone up. You know, when there's another lockdown, all these different types of things that are going to come, that are biblical prophecy, you know, it's the evil time that, you know, the Bible speaks about, the end times, man. Okay, the time of the return of the Lord is going to get so bad that the Lord is going to come to deliver his elect from this time, man. So the sons of men, the people of the earth, are going to be snared, which means to be trapped. They're going to be caught suddenly off guard by this evil time. And all these people that said that they ain't going to take it, we're going to see what they're made of in that day, okay, including us among the circumcision, man. So let me read that again. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, it says, for man also knoweth not his time. We don't know when we're going to die. As the fishes that are taken in an evil net, as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. See? So, you know, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard, man. Okay, many people are going to be snared in this time because they didn't take it serious. You know, they read it, they hearing about it, but they're still living life like normal. They ain't taking action. They're going to be snared, man, because they're not on their watch. You know, they're not on guard, man. They're not being circumspect. Turn to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 33, right there. 35, I meant. Right, so this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. So us of the hopeful elect, this is personally addressed to us. It says, behold the word of Yahweh of the Lord. It says, receive it. It says, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So the plagues are coming, man. All the things that are written about, you know, the snares and traps of this evil time we're living in, man. The vision. So the plague is drawing nigh, it says, and not slack. It says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So, you know, when a woman's having birth, she's not, you know, when she's having them contractions, there's nothing that she can do to reverse them contractions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing, you know, involving the times we're living in now, man. Okay, these plagues are coming and they're not going to go back. Things ain't going to go back to normal. Life ain't going to get better. It's only going to get worse until the day of the birth, which, you know, spiritually is speaking about the day of the Lord. Okay, so all these plagues are going to keep coming out, keep getting worse. Life's just going to keep getting more challenging, okay, until the day of the Lord. But, you know, the way we get the victory and defend ourselves is through the knowledge and wisdom of the Holy Bible, because the scriptures speak about in the book of Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6 that wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times. So this is what's going to keep us stable in these evil times, man. The wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Bible. It says, and strength of salvation, you know, because this is the wisdom and knowledge of the Bible is what's going to be the strength of our salvation. You know, so if you want to be spared from this time we're coming into, you better get as much understanding of this Bible as you can, because this is our life raft, so to speak, right? It says in verse 39, 2nd Ezra 16 and 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Slakia, 1 second. Noisy Edomite alert. So, yeah, it says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So this is the time we're living in, man. Time of great sorrows, okay? The beginning of sorrows at that, you know? But we're coming into the time where it's going to be great sorrows. Right now we're in the beginning, but it's going to get worse, okay? And the world is going to mourn, man. You know, people are not going to be having a good time in the days we're coming into. This digital ID, you know, madness is pure wickedness. And a lot of people are going to mourn because they say they swore they weren't going to take it, but they're going to have to, man. They're going to have to, because unless Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is with you, you're going to take it. You know, so it's easy for people to say, I ain't going to take it. Because you think that that's what you think in your head that that's what you're going to do is resist. Or you might try to resist, and that's fine. But you're ultimately either going to die or you're going to take it, man. All right, if you're not of the elect, you know. But the elect aren't going to take it, okay? And some of the elect will be put to death. There'll be martyrs for the Lord, right? For resisting. But that's fine. They're still going to get the victory. But you people that are outside of the circumcision, outside of the congregation of the saints, then you know, there's no victory for you, okay? Verse 40 is the point. It says, "O my people, hear my word and make you ready to thy battle." Right? So, hey, cleave to the word of the Lord, man, and get yourself ready for the battle, okay? Because this is what we're in. We're at war. Whether you like it, whether you understand it, whether you want it or not, man, you're at war, okay? It says, and make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils, right? The time we're coming into, this evil time, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. A pilgrim is somebody that doesn't have a place to settle. You know, they're hopping around, okay? That's why it's important for you, like that girl said in that clip, that video I just played. I mean, get used to being uncomfortable, basically, man. Because a pilgrim is somebody that's not comfortable. They're hopping around. They don't have a stable home. They've given up all their worldly possessions and they're hopping about the place, man. Not knowing, you know, where they're going next or what they're going to eat. You know, they're just living day by day, man. And that's what the elect are going to be reduced to. Okay? They're going to be brought, you know, to a low place. We're going to be brought to a lower state. But the Bible says, be patient when thou art changed to a lower state, okay? Because we're going to be outcast as the society for resisting, you know, when you're not able to buy and sell. You might be out the shop begging for somebody else to go into the shop for you to get you some food or something, man. Who knows? But all I know is that the elect is going to find a way. The Lord going to make a way for his elect. Divine intervention is going to happen to get the elect through it, okay? Now, I want to play one more clip, then I got one more precept, and then we'll close it out.
Are you prepared for the market?
Oh, my Mexico. Okay, so not only are they banning cash in January of next year, 2027, but now they have decided by June of this year, which is 2 months, that all 127 million mobile phone users will have to register their numbers with a biometric data, which will include fingerprints, iris scans, or facial recognition. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. You'll just be cut from cell service. This also includes prepaid phones. This includes the Amigo phone lines, all of it.
So if you resist, there's consequences, basically, man. Just like the Bible said, he causeth all to receive it. Okay, I'm not saying the digital ID is the mark of the beast, but it's a prelude to that. It's a foreshadowing where this is going, man. Okay, because when they actually roll out the actual microchip, they're going to make it very hard for people to resist that. They're going to cause you to. They're going to make your life very miserable if you don't take it. But as this girl is explaining, they're pushing it full steam ahead in their digital ID in Mexico now, man.
All of it makes a little bit of sense when you know that the president is. So this digital push is here. It's been here, but Mexico's going hard, and we're right behind. Everyone's right behind. So just remember that mandates mean nothing if you say no.
So yeah, what she meant when she showed you the juice carton, that's code for JEW, JEWS, okay? But they say juice. It's like a code word. Esau hates when we do that. You know, when we're applying wisdom so they can't take our videos down. But everybody knows what we're talking about. Esau hates when we do that. That's why they need this. That's why they need this digital ID, so they can monitor put your life in the Scopeo, man, so they can monitor every little thing that you're doing online and in your personal life and in your transactions and everything, man. You know, they want to know everything so that way they can know who's the rebel, you know, who's gonna be thrown in a FEMA camp or whatever the case may be. But you know, they want full control of everybody's life, man. Okay, because if anybody receives this mark, there's great consequences. We're gonna suffer by resisting, but if you give in and comply, you give consent, then it's gonna be way worse than anything you suffer by resisting. Okay, So this is the book of Revelations, chapter 14, starting at 9. We're going to read through 11. It says, Revelations 14 and 9, it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Okay, because when the Lord shows up, he's coming with the thousands of heaven, man. And he's going to be hovering over the earth and watching, those that bow down to this beast system that didn't get the victory over the beast in his image. He's going to watch them cook, slow roast, okay? People are going to be tormented with fire and brimstone, man, okay? Which is what the Bible calls the lake of fire. Is America on fire from coast to coast by them ICBM nuclear missiles when World War III reaches its peak. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, man. It says, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation." Indignation means righteous anger. So the Lord is going to be destroying a lot of people, okay, that go ahead and resist and give in and worship the beast in his image, man. This is the final test. It says, "And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the Lamb and the holy angels, and in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Okay. It says, "And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever, and they have no rest day or night that worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receive the mark of his name." Okay. So, ultimately you're going to be destroyed if you bow down and give in to this system. Okay, so, I'm going to leave that there. It's at the utmost importance that you resist, man. Okay, very important that you resist and keep your integrity during this time, and stay 10 toes down for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and don't give in to Esau and the wiles of the devil, the wiles of this devil, man, because he's been planning this for a long time. And, you just make sure that you cleave to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for protection during this time, man. Stay prayed up, keep the faith, and don't get weak, all right? Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. We'll close out here. Give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. All right, Shalom.